In this video, we're going to discuss how to assign products to vendors. Now, the reason this is important is when you first import your products, they're all going to be defaulted to the no supplier listed. And that's basically set up that way so that we have some kind of a supplier connected to every product that's imported from Amazon for your forecasting. Just so you understand what I mean, when you go to the forecast page, the forecast, once we get through all this setup, what it's going to be doing is it's going to be telling you by supplier how much inventory you need to purchase and how much inventory you need to transfer if you have anything at a warehouse based on the forecast settings, which we will cover in the next videos. And if you don't assign these products to a supplier, then the purchase order system won't work. Just so you understand where this is going, when we get this all connected, you can click this button. It'll automatically choose the supplier that's connected with that product or multiple products. If you're doing bulk, you're going to give it a PO number and you're going to go through the process and actually create purchase orders and transfer orders from suppliers or warehouses. So in order for all that to work, we have to assign products to vendors. So really simply, there's kind of two ways to do this. From your inventory page over here, there's another way to do this by bulk import, which I will show you over here in a minute. And that's just a giant flat file type spreadsheet upload. But this is kind of the way to do it if you're a smaller business, if you don't have hundreds or thousands of products to assign to vendors. And you can either one at a time click a few different products and then go up here to bulk actions and assign to a supplier by clicking that button, and you would just choose a supplier and submit. This is an option because sometimes people will actually have multiple suppliers for the same product. Like a backup supplier, so you can choose to have the primary or not. Great, so that's one way to do it. You can also select all and do the same thing, assign to a supplier, and so forth. But most likely you're going to have multiple suppliers, so you're going to want to go through your entire list of products and do it that way. From this page, you can also assign it to a warehouse right here. And you would choose a warehouse. Let's do Denver warehouse, and I would submit. And then after you've done that, you can also go here and update warehouse inventory, and you can just pop in how much inventory you have. Now, to make this easier for you, you are able to filter and find products based on the data that we have pulled from Amazon and filter it that way, or very simply you can search by name. So this is a little bit slower of a process, but you can do it. So let's say you had a bunch of cat supplements. You could type in the word cat and it would find anything. Of course, we don't have any, but you get the idea. So now let's talk about the bulk import export. You're going to go to your settings page down here and you're going to click bulk import export. And from here, what you're going to do is download a list of all products or all active products. Now, in the last video, I explained the difference between active and inactive products. But if you wanted to download all of your products, including inactive products, you could do that. You click the button, it's going to show up here, and then you click the download button here. Now, I've already done that, so I'm going to show you what it looks like. Here is our bulk export. I've gone ahead and I've locked column F, so I can scroll at the product name. You might want to do it by SKU, by ASIN, whatever's easier for you. But I've gone ahead and just made it a little easier to scroll. And I'm going to scroll over to primary supplier name. And you'll see that I can put in a name and I can also put in a supplier ID number. I can actually just pull those right from my vendors page. So if I go to my vendors page, and again, per our last video, these are all the imported vendors. You can just copy that if it's a supplier. Now make sure that whatever supplier you're assigning to the product has to be assigned as a supplier here. It has to be tagged as a supplier. In other words, I cannot make Amazing Logistics my supplier if it's not marked as a supplier, right? So that's very important. So I would grab my supplier name and just tab over to my bulk import export spreadsheet and paste that name here. And if I wanted to drag that down, of course, I could duplicate it. I can also do the same with the vendor ID number. You can use one or the other. You don't have to do both. SoStocked is going to use either one of these two identifying numbers or names to match these up. So if you prefer, you can use the number or the name. And since we're on the subject of the bulk import export, you can go down to the bulk warehouse inventory levels sheet on the bottom there, and you can basically update warehouse levels if you wanted to do that here as well. It's very similar. You've got the ASIN, the SKU, the product number. Over here you've got the vendor ID and the vendor name, and then you can just put in how many units. Once you've got the warehouse assigned to that product. Now once you've saved this document, you can go back to your bulk import export, scroll down, and choose what type of an import you're doing. In this case it's the top one, and you'll just choose that file and then upload it here, and you'll want to make sure that it says it uploaded successfully. If you have any problems with the upload, just shoot us an email using the help desk down here, the little ask button. Send us an email and we'll take a look at it for you, but it's pretty straightforward. I prefer using the bulk import export if you have a lot of products. Otherwise you can just do the inventory page as we were talking about before with our bulk actions up here.